Alright, so I'm gonna make this quick video. You know, we're gonna try to get this playing. This is I'm gonna say a mid to late 60s Ward's Airline solid state job. I picked this up from a seller online that I know, and I've gotten other radios from in the past. This is a 1756A. Let's see, what is that? Production code is what? 82 62 something. Maybe it's a 62. I don't know. It looks a little, I don't know. I don't think this is from 62 though. I think it's a little later than that. But anyway, I looked online and I could not get an exact date on this. I don't really do a lot of solid state stuff, but I saw this and I said, well, I'll go ahead and pick it up. It was a good price, and so I'll go ahead and pick it up. It's got filter hums, so we're gonna see what we can do about replacing those filter caps and see if it works. If it doesn't, well, we'll dig a little bit deeper and see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. I'll demonstrate what the problem is. So as you can see, it hums. Haven't really been able to pick up anything behind the hum. The hum's so loud I can't even pick up anything behind it, so hopefully the radio works and it just needs some filter caps. And by the way, stay tuned for this. We got this coming up. The last radio I fixed, that Philco 145, Mr. Keith liked that so well, the performance of that radio, he sent this in for repair, so we're going to be working on this on the next video. Oh yeah, we got us a big old orange General Industries capacitor. Well, that tells me a lot right there. Got a big old drop-in resistor here and another one here. This one looks like this uses that. Yeah, looks like it uses that. I guess it's, I think it's one of these, the high voltage output. You know, it's a line driven set. You know, works off of drop-in resistors, and the rest of it's ate up by that high voltage audio output transistor there. Not transformer. Transformers over there. But anyway, this is one of those you know, late 60s or mid 60s cheapy jobbies. So anyway, we're going to need to try to figure out how to get all this out of here. Get this board out of here so I can get that big old orange filter cap there changed. I can tell by the color that's a General Industry capacitor, and they have a very high failure rate. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that this is one of those deals that slides out the front. You got all these screws down here. Looks like you got 6 screws on the bottom, and I believe this whole deal just slides straight out the front. Alright, with our 6 screws removed, presto, it just slides out the front. One thing I can say about this cabinet though is it's high quality. Ain't a very big cabinet, but there's no particle board in this thing. It's all wood. Looks like all made out of maple wood. This right here is probably some sort of pine or something right here, but that's not particle board. If it had been much later than this, it'd probably been particle board, especially into the 70s. Alright, so here's our capacitor here. Looks to me like down here, 240/66. So probably the 240th day of 66 or something like that. The model number of that cap is E3268-2. So General Industries capacitor, very high failure rate. This thing has a mixture of parts. I don't know if you can see that. This cap here is a Japanese cap. These are Nichicon. So, and then they got a General Industries cap here. So, yeah, this is when they were starting to go to Japan. So, probably in all this plastic in here, I would say it's probably late 60s, I would say. So, anyway, I didn't notice this bulb worked, so I guess that didn't realize it had a dye-light bulb. I guess it's burnt out. But anyway, well, I think I'm gonna get to work changing this capacitor here. I don't have a 150 microfarad capacitor, but I do have 100 and 147. I think I'll try to use those. I'll have to see if we can make this work. This is a, I don't really want to put a lot of money in this. This is 100 at 160 volts, and I have a 47 at 47 at 160 volts, if I can talk. So we'll try to make those work and see if we can get that to work. And then the 50 microfarad section of that cap, it's just at 50 volts. I'll probably just use one of these 47s at 160. That should work fine. So let me get this out of here and see what we can work with. You have to make sure you unclip your antenna lead when you take all these screws out of here, because it won't come out if you don't take that loose. Alright, well, it ain't pretty, but there's our filter cap network installed, and here's our old cap out of here. And most as the dial light bulb does work. Most important thing, it works. So as you can hear, it needs to be cleaned, get it off copyright stuff. The volume controls need to be cleaned.
MAC addresses, and every device has what's called a MAC address. Okay.
Seems like
so the whole idea
this is
you
the
go onto the
tone,
router and you see,
which is kind of odd. They've got the tone on the outer, the volume on the inner adjustment.
I do.
Okay. Your phone.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get those cleaned. Alright, got our controls cleaned. .650 WSM.
And which is a liquid, and then I take Dr. Joe's wellness book.
It's hard to scout too, because there's a lot. It's their ability to play practice role teams. Let's talk high tech, you and me.
So you're going to save 90% off your first year's plan. Once again, that's
Now 64, man. Talking about 50-50 love.
Alright, FM.
More than the plus. There isn't a dealer or a manufacturer.
Outdated or incorrect information. So here are 3 methods.
I'm gonna have to keep it moving on the copyrighted stuff. So.
And let's start at the top with free websites.
252. Back in 1047 WNOK. Spicy chicken Ukraine. Pick 2 for $5. Choose between the juicy Dave single.
Or your rent paid for the entire year.
In my head, I was still in the bag. Later times, these are the hypocritical liars. And they deliberately know and
That's the FM side of 970 there. Gotta keep it moving though. Don't want any copyright strikes.
The music.
Hey, this is Rhett Walker, and this is the story behind my new song, Believer.
Oh, Lord Jesus, lay down his sweet head.
Alright, I don't want YouTube hammering me for being too merry. So, anyway, there's my Airline. What model was this again? 1756A, because it's the maple version of it. So, anyway, we got it working again. This, it probably needs to be recapped, but it seems to be working fine. So I may do a future video on a recap job of this thing and going through checking some components, but seems to be working good for now. So we're gonna let it roll and maybe let these caps reform. Maybe I can get a little while longer off of them. All right, thanks for watching. And yes, I did put it back together. Just wanted y'all to see I did put it back together. One thing that's interesting before I go, it looks like this cutout here was for a cheater cord, so I wonder if this cabinet wasn't used for a tube type radio as well. All this here, wonder if this cabinet wasn't used in a tube radio.